Welcome, dear listeners and galaxy explorers. Do you feel which zodiac jumps out of the glass today?
You see our hands in gloves actually. They didn't fit, but hey, never mind.
Because yes, they fulfill their purpose, being mysterious, tension-building and shiny. Just like the multiverse. And yes, this video is long, but this is a 1 in a million heart and soul project. Jupiter says there will be no other video like that, so don't stress yourself just because of the length. You don't have to listen to this all at once. You're free to go chapter by chapter just at your own pace and time.
And have you felt it?
I'm desperate for a drop of water.
That's more than we have since you emptied our canteen hours ago.
I wasn't born of this desert like your Persians, all shriveled and angry. My constitution is much more delicate.
I think you mean spoiled.
The wells of Alamut are famed for their clean, cold water.
Perhaps less time admiring your wells and more time guarding your walls, and you wouldn't be here. Haha. Ah, a miracle! I've silenced the princess! Tamina? Tamina? Can you hear me?
Oh. Yes, Dustin, I can hear you.
Okay, peeps, before we go into it, keep in mind that this is a very general collection. Don't be afraid, don't be mad or sad if the astro typology and the following reading do not resonate with you. This collection is meant for you all, so it's totally okay if some of you do not feel the energies of the cards or the words. At least we are all individuals with an individual set of energies coming from all kinds of sources, but all of them connected, because we are one. I want to ask you to just open the doors of your heart and your mind in order to combine them with your incredible inner light into united, unconditional love. And if it feels right to you, dare to go through that united door.
Always choose love and don't let your fears shade your open doors. Because love is a divine open door shining directly through your heart, ready to accompany you on your own unique path.
Ladies and gents, fasten your seatbelt. Destination, standard information.
Our Sagittarius, fascination with side effects. His time starts with the 23rd of November and ends on the 21st of December. As the winter season starts in its early ages and the environment gets all the way frostier, our spirited Sagittarius shows himself, following in the footsteps of Scorpio and injecting the season with boundless enthusiasm. Sagittarius guides us through the adventurous dance of the colorful fall leaves, encouraging us to embrace the thrill of the unknown. With the arrival of Sagittarius, there also comes a sense for exploration. Like the buzzy winter winds, Sagittarius inspires us to cast aside limitations and embark on a journey of personal discovery. As the nights get longer, Sagittarius attracts us to look beyond the familiar, nurturing a spirit of optimism and a hunger for new horizons. And by doing so, Sagittarius invites us also to broaden our perspectives and seek the warmth of knowledge and experience through the frosty times of November and December. This spirited journey mirrors Sagittarius' innate ability to embrace the diverse facets of life and emerge with the pleasure for all the adventures that lie ahead. Sagittarius' gender is male, and with that, he comes with lots of energy, dominance, and perseverance. Just as much as our Sagittarius burns within, having all the desires of traveling, seeing, experiencing, and having new stuff, never wanting to stay still, just as fiery is his primary color, flaming red. Sagittarius' fire energy tells us to enjoy the little and big things in life, travel a lot, and just have fun. And meanwhile, also convinces us to open to the new, to adventures, and also to new people. The opposite zodiac of our never tired and eager Sagittarius is the amusing and communicative Gemini. And yes, communication they really do have in common.
Ladies and gents, are you ready to continue with the destination ruler planet?
Sagittarius is ruled by his ruler planet Jupiter. Jupiter stands for self-assertion and freedom, as well as for openness and philosophy. When looking closer at the planets, we know that they are always linked to a specific Greek or Roman god. In the case of Jupiter, we do now talk about Zeus, father of the gods for lightning, thunder, and air. And again, which is fascinating in the teaching of the planets, that just fits perfectly with our Sagittarius, doesn't it? Because in astrology, Jupiter is associated with expansion, growth, and abundance. Spiritually, Jupiter is often linked to qualities such as wisdom, optimism, and benevolence. And yes, this is because in Roman mythology, Jupiter is the king of the gods, equivalent to the Greek god Zeus. Jupiter represents the higher mind, philosophical pursuits, and the quest for meaning and purpose in life. It encourages individuals to seek a broader understanding of the world and to embrace opportunities for a personal and spiritual growth, just like our Sagittarius does for his lifetime. Interesting side note here, Sagittarius shares Jupiter with Pisces, which its ruler planet is Jupiter as well. The only difference here is that Pisces also has a next ruler planet, Neptune. For Sagittarius, there is the full influence of Jupiter only. This all leads us to Sagittarius' element fire, which reflects restless energy and power. But the symbolism of fire goes much further than just energy and fieriness. Fire, spiritually speaking, does also stand for spirituality, dynamism, temperament, and self-confidence. This means, especially for our Sagittarius, that they on the one hand can get very passionate about something, but on the other hand, they are more likely to try imposing their will with all their power. So yes, with Sagittarius, we have a very assertive person, but also someone who achieves his goals no matter what it costs by whatever it takes. You can see that, of course, in a good as well as in a not so good and even destructive way.
Ladies and gents, next destination, Ascendant. Until this very point, we have talked a lot about the more, you can say, basic facts, like the season, the gender, primary color, the planets, and even the gods, and of course, what all that means in combination with each other. We can now check that off, because with these facts, we have built the foundation for all that is now to come. You will notice that there will be some links to the basic facts during the next chapters. So let us go further now. With the up to now collected information, we now know that with Sagittarius and his open and assertive approach, he can really influence his surroundings, if not even the world. But Sagittarius doesn't only influence the environment in this way, but also as an ascendant of other zodiacs. For those whose ascendants are in Sagittarius, this means the search for the deeper meaning of life and self-assertion. Let's say your zodiac is Aquarius. Then you are probably a free spirit and a lateral thinker. Realize something? These qualities are equal to our Sagittarius qualities. And when these zodiacs combine, which means when as an Aquarius your ascendant lies in a Sagittarius, then there is a huge explosion for the desire for freedom, the desire to talk openly, to influence the world, to just do whatever comes in our zodiac's mind without any physical or mental boundaries. With that combination, we see how the qualities of each zodiac intensify strongly. There could be no other combination of two zodiac signs which can create an even more freedom-loving and creative person.
Ladies and gents, we are going to the stars. Next destination, star constellation and numerology ranking.
Sagittarius' star constellation is 125 light years away from Earth, and 1 light year corresponds to 9.46 trillion kilometers. Compared to the other signs of the zodiac, Sagittarius isn't either very far away from Earth nor very close. With Gemini having a 35 light years distance and Aquarius having a 610 light years distance from Earth, Sagittarius is, you can say, very flexibly in the middle between the other zodiacs. And even that fits perfectly to Sagittarius, as he positions himself somewhere where it is always easy to travel into different directions, at any moment ready to find a new destination, so to say. The star constellation of Sagittarius can be sighted on summer nights between July and August as a slight light image. In the numerology ranking, Sagittarius occupies number 3, which is all about boundary crossings.
Ladies and gents, how do you shop? How do you dress? Destination, wardrobe, and money.
Our Sagittarius likes to wear fancy and modern outfits, which he combines skillfully and stylishly. But he doesn't follow a certain style direction. His taste is just as abstract as he is himself. From clear lines to creative looks, everything is possible. So you can always be curious about his next appearance. For this, he spends a lot of money, because only high-quality outfits are acceptable for him. Off-the-rack pieces are almost an insult to the Sagittarius. And if he has no more money, it just doesn't matter. What are friends and relatives for? He also likes to take advantage of others and their efforts as well as their resources. And here we are already and consequently at the topic of money, which plays a big role for our Sagittarius. They spend their money freely and often drop into the trap of loans or debt. And all of that just in order to maintain the elevated lifestyle that they set for themselves. Unfortunately, our Sagittarius is also very fond and passionate about gambling, so that they are regularly found in casinos. Alcohol is also a passionate burden, which they cannot or do not want to escape. In general, Sagittarius spends way too much money on useless stuff anyway. He just always wants more. If they would only harm themselves with their exuberant generosity, which they show for themselves, that would be one thing. But the problem here is that they also have no issue claiming other people's money and spending it without self-control. He drives his victims into serious troubles without them knowing it for a long time, because he proceeds very skillfully. His talent for language, and with that also for conviction, makes him the perfect manipulator, which he is aware of, and he uses that when necessary to get what he wants. Let's take an example from real life. A Sagittarius man together with a Scorpio lady, both want to move in together, and they are thinking about how to do it. Our Sagittarius man comes up with the glorious idea of moving into his wife's house, which has been there for generations. But then sells it and moves with his partner into a new house, and he pays for it generously, out of his own pocket. The Scorpio lady, lost in her emotional world and happy to be moving in together, doesn't realize one thing. They are now living together, yes, but she has lost her house, and her husband has made a quick profit. And he has done it so with a sense of naturalness that is seen from the outside as generosity. And for him, this is mostly not something that he does out of having bad intentions. No, on the contrary, he likes to take care of his family. But we do also have our Sagittarius people who like to control and to manipulate in order to achieve a higher personal goal. And then this example of selling his wife's house and moving into a self-bought new house doesn't seem that harmless and generous anymore.
Ladies and gents, what about the personality? Next destination, personality.
That brings us to the next topic, when the Sagittarius wants something. So when our Sagittarius wants something, he sticks to his goal and persistently keeps at it until he actually gets it. He will not let go until he reaches his goal. However, the fact that they quickly get frustrated when they don't get what they want right away makes them unpredictable. But when they realize there is no other way, they will take as much time as necessary to get there after all. In that case, they use their manipulative communication skills to their full advantage. Our Sagittarius has the ability to dazzle and manipulate like no other zodiac. If you are not careful enough, they are easily able to sell you a pear as a banana and make you believe them without any doubt. Their clear voice and determination just do the rest. Furthermore, they are known for taking unconventional and sometimes even dangerous paths and often cross all boundaries by doing so. Of course, it is possible to have great conversations with our Sagittarius, to do things, to make friends, and a lot more. All of that is absolutely not to be questioned. You can have an incredible amount of fun with them and try out new things. And yet, you should always examine them with a good portion of skepticism, because their supposedly uncomplicated and relaxed nature quickly fills the people around him with comfort. This can lead to exaggerated confidence and carelessness, which the people around him usually cannot even explain themselves, but just accept it through his seemingly uncomplicated open nature, because they find pleasure in his way of being. This type of carelessness is dangerous because the Sagittarius, in case he sets a goal, will take everything he wants and doesn't hesitate to leave the people ice coldly as soon as they realize that there is nothing more to get from them. Maybe you will think now,
Wow, he behaves so unethical.
yes, unfortunately, Sagittarius is actually the only sign of the zodiac who can show such an ice-cold and immoral behavior without even having a bad conscience. He is rather self-righteous than just. His carefree nature makes him initially popular with other people, but this can change quickly because sometimes he just cannot control his bragging features. This also applies in terms of justice. Justice, yes, but please rather for himself. However, when it comes to righteousness between others, that is, when he himself is not involved, he is a very good listener and mediator. His analytical thinking as well as his word acrobatics, which he mainly uses for his own purposes, he can use well in such situations. And so, he can help even others with his sometimes questionable abilities. But whether he does so is another question. He is very freedom-loving and impatient after all.
Ladies and gents, are you ready? We are going to expand. Destination, free spirit.
Speaking of freedom loving, our Sagittarius always has a lot of people around and the one or another affair. But you have to leave him alone. Under no circumstances he lets himself be constricted or talked down. He must always and at all times feel free. Everyone around him must know and accept that. And if they don't, the Sagittarius doesn't care about that at all and just leaves. This applies to everyone, whether partner, husband, wife, family, friends, work colleagues, and even superiors. He just makes no difference. He needs his freedom. Everything else is beside the point. He must always have the feeling to be able to do what he wants because he simply gets bored quickly. The life task of a Sagittarius is to cross borders and to bring cultures together, and he does not let himself be stopped in this, come what may.
You know what?
What?
I know that's quite early to talk about well-known Sagittarius people, as we do always have them in our very last destination.
Yeah.
But don't you think it is the best time now to just talk about one or two of them?
Yeah.
Just for explaining how our Sagittarius peeps cross borders and bring cultures together?
Yeah, great idea. We should do that. Did you know that both Walt Disney and Nostradamus were born under the sign of Sagittarius?
Yeah, that's right. I did. And don't you also think how crazy it is that these two so different people share the same astrological sign?
Yeah, right. There we do again. See that the same zodiac doesn't mean that we meet two people behaving the exact same way. Both of them were so different and acted in two absolute different areas of life. But one thing they do have in common, because our Sagittarius people are known for their adventurous and visionary nature.
Yes.
Disney, for instance,
Oh, yes.
not only revolutionized entertainment, but also crossed cultural borders with his creations.
Definitely, Disney's animations, characters, and theme parks like Disneyland became a global phenomenon. With that, Disney brought people from different cultures together to experience the magic he envisioned. And he definitely crossed borders which were present at his times. Who would ever thought at that time that adults would watch animated movies and would also enjoy them? People thought Walt was crazy and childish above all.
Yes, always misunderstood. But look at him today. He created one of the biggest companies of the world, which brings a lot of joy into people's families and lives.
Yes.
And Nostradamus, as an astrologer and seer, used his typical Sagittarius traits to transcend cultural and temporal boundaries.
Yeah, he
His
did.
prophecies written centuries ago still resonate with people around the world.
It's fascinating how both of them, despite facing challenges and criticisms, followed their visions fearlessly and also proudly, without bothering about the opinions of others.
Exactly. That's the Sagittarius spirit. They don't let obstacles or norms formed by society hinder their pursuits. Disney faced skepticism when he ventured into animation, and Nostradamus was labeled strange, yet they both persisted.
Disney's creations, from Mickey Mouse to Disney World, became iconic symbols globally.
Yep.
Nostradamus, with his astrological writings, connected with people across cultures and centuries, and both still have an impact even today.
And the life task of a Sagittarius is to cross borders and bring cultures together.
Yeah.
And both Disney and Nostradamus did just that. They embraced their uniqueness and didn't let others dictate their paths.
Right. True pioneers, breaking barriers and leaving a lasting impact. It's a reminder that sometimes being labeled as weird is a sign of pushing boundaries and creating something extraordinary.
Absolutely. Embracing that energy of fearlessness and vision can lead to incredible achievements, just like it did for Disney and Nostradamus.
Right.
Ladies and gents, is your heart talking to you? Destination Love.
It is not uncommon for Sagittarius to be inconsistent when it comes to his working life. With Sagittarius, you will notice a frequent change of jobs. The same is reflected in matters of partnerships. Frequent changes of partners and many flirts are not exceptions, but rather the rule. Also, he will not commit himself to any place according to the motto, "Here I will grow old." On the contrary, he will try to travel as many countries as possible in his life. Even here, he does not let himself be pinned down. When it comes to vacation, you can look forward to variety, of course. Everything will be included: action, relaxation, and a lot of fun, which is all very important for our Sagittarius. And when on vacation, our Sagittarius is very generous with money, almost wasteful even. Thus, it is not surprising to find Sagittarius in supposedly liberal professions. And so, it can very well be that you spot our Sagittarius among philosophers, astrologers, writers, actors, or even fortune tellers who are truly comfortable in these professions, as they can use them to satisfy their thirst for adventure and curiosity, but also their sense for communication.
Ladies and gents, how do you spend your me time? Destination: vacation. We already touched upon the matter of vacation, but now let us go deeper into that. Short trips or spontaneous tours can be expected from the Sagittarius regularly. In any case, it is never boring, and that Sagittarius would never allow anyway, because he himself reacts highly allergic to boredom. With this desire for travel and adventure, it is only natural that geography was his favorite subject in school times. However, as far as the constant changes are concerned, it must be said that this can last until old age, until he has found something, according to his feelings or his guidelines, that meets his requirements, which are above all money and freedom. Ladies and gents, let's open your fridge. Next destination: food. Our Sagittarius loves good conversations with lots of wordplay, best with good food and wine on a warm and breezy summer night. They love alcohol anyway, but they also love good meals. And speaking of food, they can cook really well, both our male and female Sagittarius. They love cooking, and their grill is usually available throughout the year, because they simply don't want to do without this pleasure, and certainly don't want to be restricted. And then, of course, only their closest relatives and friends are invited. Together it is more fun anyway, but they also try out everything, and a visit to a Thai restaurant is not unusual. Of course, they are also allowed to have sweets, and they won't say no to a creamy and fruity cake. But sweet pastries from the bakery do also enrich our Sagittarius soul. Our Sagittarius are also very active in sports, especially at a young age. Due to their intense energies, they are able to try out all kinds of sports, but also rather rare sports, like fencing, belong to his interests. By the way, he can also dance. What do you think, which dance suits the freedom-loving Sagittarius? Of course, the contemporary. Here he can put his own choreo on the dance floor. As we know, rules are not really a thing for our Sagittarius, and this fact is reflected in all situations in life, not just in dancing. Unfortunately, with increasing age, our Sagittarius often suffers from knee pain, so that operations are usually unavoidable. At the latest from this time, but only caused by the pain, our Sagittarius can become a little more cozy. Then he directs and transforms his now limited physical energy into even more mental energy. Overall, Sagittarius has the great opportunity to attract many, even well-known people around him, and to make something great and even unforgettable out of his life due to his unconventional nature. If he learns to direct his energies and to use them properly, the most diverse doors from all over the world can open for our Sagittarius. At the latest, then, the sometimes strange peculiarities of Sagittarius fade into the background for the people around him. These are his great opportunities in life. He only has to realize that he can direct and influence his abilities positively. And then he will be appreciated, loved, and respected. But above all, understood. Behind that Sagittarius facade, there is only the urge to assert himself, to find inner peace. After all, the Sagittarius has to be able to cope with so much massive energy in the first place. It is just part of his life tasks that will always accompany him. Ladies and gents, is your heart talking to you? Destination love.
As a partner of Sagittarius, you must not be jealous and possessive under any circumstances. Love, yes, a lot even, but freedom must be, mentally as well as physically. But freedom in that matter also means that Sagittarius may have several irons in the fire. In his mind, there are so many beautiful beings who he must make happy. A potential partner must be able to let the Sagittarius go without any jealousy drama. For that, the air signs are best suited since they are freedom-loving themselves and can enjoy the distance or their own freedom and also know how to use it. That is why the greatest punishment for a Sagittarius is lack of liberty. So if you don't want to get rid of a Sagittarius involuntarily or accidentally, you should not try to take away his freedom or restrict him. It will not go well, promise. In fact, it will go wrong very quickly. It is not about prison or anything like that, no. It's enough for a Sagittarius to feel mentally and physically constricted by someone. This frustrates him so much that he will break out in some way in a very short time. Because of this, he will ask himself before every supposedly binding decision whether his independence is secured. He lives according to the motto,
I will not be stopped enjoying my life.
And who is surprised that this is the same with separation? Because if you want to separate from a Sagittarius, you don't have to do anything else than just tell him directly. You don't have to be afraid of vindictiveness. We know he has several irons in the fire anyway. In matters of partnership and love, we have just learned the Sagittarius' motto.
Love, yes, but let me have my freedom.
Our Sagittarius gets along well with their peers, so with Sagittarius. They know each other and know their characteristics and peculiarities, so to speak. Aries, Aquarius, and Gemini also belong to their favorites in matters of partnership. These characters themselves have a great desire for freedom, which they also do not allow to be taken away and would never take away from another person. These signs complement each other simply because of their unconventional nature. There are simply no jealousy scenes here. But apart from that, the Sagittarius man has a more or less beautiful burden, namely the many beautiful women. Just the sight of them makes him weak. On the other hand, things don't look too good with Taurus, Leo, and Cancer. Our Sagittarius is simply too arrogant and irresponsible for these signs. These signs don't like that at all. They need reliability, which Sagittarius can't always secure due to his urge for freedom. But as always, exceptions confirm the rule. We are all individuals at least.
Ladies and gents, a treasure trove full of crazy, good, and kind people. Destination: friendship. Due to his open nature, a lot is possible in terms of friendship. This is simply because, in contrast to partnership, not much is expected from him in friendships, and therefore he does not feel this permanent pressure. When it's only about making friends, he mainly gets along best with Sagittarius, Libra, and Aries, who let him have his idiosyncrasies and freedom, and do not cause any dramas. But this is based on mutuality, because if it doesn't work out, there's no drama. You simply avoid each other without any comment. With Scorpio, Capricorn, and Taurus, however, he has and will always have his difficulties. Exceptions confirm the rule, of course. We are again all individuals, at least.
Señoras y señores, el destino último de celebridades.
¡Ay! And finally, we have a few famous Sagittarius-born people for you. And I'm sorry if I do not pronounce all the names correctly, but I try my best. Let us start with Tina Turner, Winston Churchill, Walt Disney, Frank Sinatra, Jane Fonda, C.S. Lewis, Judi Dench, Jake Gyllenhaal, Steven Spielberg, Brad Pitt, Ludwig van Beethoven, Willy Brandt, Jonah Hill, Nostradamus, Miley Cyrus, Amanda Seyfried, Ben Stiller, Jamie Foxx, Katherine Heigl, Jackson Rathbone, Jimi Hendrix, Carl Benz, Bruce Lee, Robert Koch, Gustav Eiffel, Anders Celsius, Sinead O'Connor, Julianne Moore, Edith Piaf, Bette Midler, and of course, many, many more.
Before we move forward, I want to ask you to set the intention to connect to the cards with your open heart, your intuition, and your beautiful inner light. Now put your attention fully to the brightness of your unique light, doesn't matter which color it has, and bring your wonderful light right into your open heart so that you're able to feel the sensation of unconditional love.
First of all, the cards have a kinda sporty and strong jumpiness. While shuffling, they literally made some crazy acrobatics. That was weird funniness at the same time, but for me, it's just a typical Sagittarius thing. Okay, Sagittarius, let's go into it. It seems as if you had so much to learn in the past, and you probably found yourself intensely struggling with anything and everything. Of course, it's not easy for a fire element like Sagittarius to hold back in order to learn some life lessons anyway. Yes, you share your ruler planet Jupiter with Pisces, and so it's a field you are already familiar with, and that's why you are okay with that. But then Pisces with its ruler planet Neptune brought you some intense, strong, and also deep dark energies, with which you had to juggle too, as if the fire inside of you is not enough, right? It seems as if you had to manage kind of a double struggle with energies like coldness, meanness, intolerance, aggressiveness, stubbornness, etc. At the beginning, you maybe didn't understand where and why all this came up from. But as a Sagittarius with a great philosophical and spiritual sense, you hopefully were able to reflect and transform all this into knowledge and wisdom wisely. And probably you did really a great job. Wisely, because with the now added air energies of a Gemini and its ruler planet Mercury, you have literally a mixture of energies flowing within yourself. It's not really a challenge for you to stay mentally fluid and flexible, but it seems as if your challenge is now to overcome and to be the master of all the energies and its potentials, which they bring with them. Struggling with themselves and anything else is a typical Gemini life lesson. Anyway, the world and its inhabitants can seem much more contradictory and slower to you now. I could imagine that you try to show patience and understanding towards people who need more time to understand or get things done. With the incredible influence of Gemini, Hermes, and Jupiter, it could now probably never be fast enough for you, so your patience sometimes just disappears. With this speed, you should take care not to get too prone to exaggeration and overwhelm people by being tough, demanding, and yes, paranoid too. Maybe it can help you to meditate in order to stay grounded and wise. For me, the future card shows the clear picture of your personal path, because in the future, you will hopefully be able to use all the earned and learned knowledge gently. Regular meditation rituals seem to be needed to connect yourself to your source energies and to stay grounded. So you hopefully have the great chance to act then from a place of calmness. Seemingly unlimited creativity could stand right in front of you, which you can hopefully transform into greatness. Greatness with ideas, alliances, and deep life changings. See? All you went through and probably are still going through is needed for the very higher good for all, and especially yourself. Just be careful with all those powerful energies so that you don't get exhausted too fast. When talking about exhaustion and reconnecting, the Starseed card completes the big picture. This card asks you to not the word I was searching for was forget. That's ironic, isn't it? It's really ironic. Okay, don't worry, let's continue. This card asks you to not forget about the needed happiness of your own soul, so you can feel pleasure, gratefulness, happiness, and joy. To allow yourself to just surrender completely to any beauties of life. It's playtime, Sagittarius. Have fun!
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. Welcome in my hair now, and wondering what dress to wear now. I say a little prayer for you. Forever and ever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. Oh, hi, I love you. Together, that's how it must be. To live without you would only be heartbreak for me. The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. While combing my hair now, and wondering what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever and ever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you. Forever and ever, whenever we'll part, oh how I'll love you. Together, together, that's how it must be. To live without you would only mean heartbreak for me. So, we hope we could give you not just a marathon, but also an overall collective and detailed insight into the many worlds of our today's zodiac. And we're glad that you were with us until the very, very end. And the fact that you took your time to connect and to be with us on this whole journey today really means a lot to us.
And naturally, you are very welcome to leave your thoughts and intuitions, or if you like, even your emotions in the comment section. This all, and to see where you are all coming from, is for us very fascinating to know. Where are my Astro Soul peeps?
And do not forget, if life gives you lemons,
Be creative, do something good for your heart, your soul, and your body. Be your own alchemist.
and make a lemon cheesecake.
You said it.